Okay, so get this, Russia, a country that we usually think of as like all about centralized control, is suddenly diving headfirst into the world of cryptocurrency.
Really, head first.
Yeah, especially crypto mining.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about a new law signed by President Putin himself.
Wow.
And today, we're going to go deep on what it all means.
That is good.
We've got this great article from cryptonews.com titled, Putin Signs Second Russian Crypto Mining Law as Nation Prepares to Tax Miners.
Interesting.
Plus some like really interesting Twitter chatter around the whole thing.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of buzz about this.
So this isn't just like Russia dipping their toes in the water, right?
It's more than just a dip in the crypto pool, I'd say.
Right.
This new law basically hands over the keys to the crypto mining registry to the Federal Tax Service, the FTS.
So they're not messing around.
Nope.
What's the big takeaway for crypto miners, like on the ground in Russia?
Well, transparency for one. The FTS is going to have a direct line of sight into miners' activities. We're talking transaction histories, currency movements, the whole 9 yards.
Wow. So like...
And that's because they're getting ready to tax them.
Oh, so is this like Big Brother keeping tabs on every Bitcoin transaction?
Not exactly.
Okay.
It seems to be more focused on the big players, the industrial scale mining operations.
Okay.
If you're just mining at home
Right.
and keeping your energy usage below a certain threshold, you're probably flying under the radar. For now, at least.
For now, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But this article also mentions that like other government agencies are getting access to this transaction data too, right?
Right.
We're talking about the FSB, their main security agency, and Rosfin monitoring, which handles anti-money laundering efforts.
Yeah, it definitely brings up the question of how far this access will go.
Doesn't that raise some eyebrows, like about potential government surveillance?
I mean, yeah, it definitely does. Is this purely for tax purposes, or could it be a gateway to wider government surveillance?
Right.
It's something worth paying attention to, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then to add like another layer to this whole thing,
Yeah.
this new law also gives individual regions in Russia the power to temporarily ban mining altogether.
Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, yeah, tell me more.
Take Buryatia, for example.
Right.
They've been pointing fingers at miners in the neighboring region of Irkutsk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, blaming them for power problems. So this provision could actually be a strategic win for some miners.
A win. How so?
Well, think of it this way.
Okay.
It could provide a way to avoid the Ministry of Energy's proposal of mandatory nationwide shutdowns. So it becomes a choice between navigating regional bans or facing a blanket shutdown across the country.
Okay, I see.
Kind of a pick your poison situation.
Pick your poison, right? So what do you think is like the driving force behind this whole crypto shift in Russia? Because they've been pretty hesitant about it until recently, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are a few potential motivations at play here.
Okay.
They definitely want to avoid the kind of energy crisis that happened in Abkhazia, where unregulated mining just led to blackouts and shortages.
Oh, right.
It was a mess.
Yeah, that was a mess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, there's the big elephant in the room, tax revenue. I mean, this is a rapidly growing industry.
Yeah.
And governments are always looking for ways to tap into new revenue streams.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And finally, I think there's a genuine desire to bring crypto out of the shadows and legitimize it within Russia's financial system. It's a way to control it, yes, but also to potentially harness its power, right?
That seems like a smart strategy. If they can pull it off.
If they can pull it off, exactly.
Yeah. But what about the potential economic impact of this?
Yeah, good point.
The article mentions some pretty optimistic claims from the mining industry itself.
Right. They're projecting millions of dollars in tax revenue just from legal mining operations.
Wow.
Plus, there's the potential for significant job creation,
right.
particularly in the IT sector.
Uh-huh.
Oleg Obzhenko, the head of Bit River Communications, one of Russia's major mining companies, he's been very vocal about that aspect.
So they're not just talking about abstract benefits, but real tangible economic growth.
Precisely.
Wow.
And this all ties into something even bigger, Russia's ambition to become a global leader in the crypto space. They're not just setting up shop in their own backyard.
Right.
Bit River is actually partnering with a government agency to build crypto mining and AI facilities in BRICS nations.
Hold on, BRICS. Just to be clear, we're talking about Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
That's right.
Wow.
And we're seeing a similar trend within Russia itself,
Right.
with various regions gearing up to establish their own, crypto mining centers.
Wow, it's like a nationwide gold rush, but for crypto.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
So it seems like they're really going all in on this.
Absolutely.
But here's where it gets, like, really interesting to me.
Okay, yeah.
Russia has this, like, long history of centralized control.
Uh-huh.
Could this, like, embrace of crypto, which is all about decentralization, signal a fundamental shift in their approach to technology and finance?
Now, that's the million-dollar question.
Right.
It's a bit of a paradox, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And the answer could have huge implications, not just for Russia, but for the entire global crypto landscape.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Right.
let's delve a little deeper into the specifics of this new law.
Okay, sounds good.
The article from cryptonews.com highlighted some interesting details
Yeah.
about the powers being given to government agencies.
Yeah, it's not just about oversight and taxation anymore. There's a whole new level of authority being granted to certain government bodies. Yeah, the Crypto News piece points out that, like, several government agencies now have the right to conduct searches and demand information from crypto miners, just like that.
Oh, wow.
It's a whole new ballgame.
Yeah.
It goes way beyond simple tax collection.
That does raise some concerns.
Yeah.
Do we, like, know exactly which agencies are being given these powers?
The article specifically calls out Rosfin monitoring, which is focused on, anti-money laundering.
Right.
And the FSB, which is, I guess you could say their equivalent of the FBI or MI6.
Wow, so they're not holding back.
Not really, no.
This adds a whole new layer of complexity to the situation.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder about, Russia's true intentions here.
Yeah.
Are they genuinely interested in fostering a healthy crypto ecosystem?
Right.
Or is this primarily about control and surveillance?
Right.
It's a delicate balance.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But this new law definitely shows
Mhm.
they're serious about crypto, one way or another.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Remember, Russia's stance on crypto has been kind of ambiguous for years.
Uh-huh.
It was basically a legal gray area.
Right.
But now they're establishing clear laws, creating registers, handing over enforcement power to, various agencies.
Yeah.
This signifies a deliberate move to acknowledge and regulate the industry.
And let's not forget about, the potential for profit.
Right, of course.
We talked earlier about the significant tax revenue they could generate.
Right. That's a key factor here.
Yeah.
I mean, governments are always on the lookout for new revenue streams.
Of course.
And crypto mining, especially in a country like Russia with its vast energy resources,
Yeah.
it presents a very, very tempting target.
It's like all the pieces are falling into place for them.
Yeah, you could say that.
They have the energy, the infrastructure,
Yeah.
and now, like, the legal framework to become a major player in global crypto mining.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole situation so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
We're seeing a country historically known for centralized control grappling with a technology that's inherently decentralized.
Right.
It's a paradox,
Yeah.
and it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out.
It raises a lot of questions about the future, like how will this new regulatory environment impact innovation in the Russian crypto space?
Yeah, good question.
Will it, stifle creativity, or could it actually provide more stability and attract investment?
Yeah, those are great questions.
What do you think?
I think to really understand the potential answers there, we need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture,
Okay.
particularly Russia's geopolitical ambitions.
Okay. Let's zoom out.
Okay.
What are we seeing in the wider context?
Well, Russia has been increasingly vocal about wanting to reduce its reliance on the U.S. dollar and Western financial systems in general,
Okay.
cryptocurrencies, with their, decentralized nature.
Right.
And ability to bypass traditional financial institutions could be a powerful tool to achieve that goal.
So they're not just interested in crypto for, like, its technological potential,
Yeah,
but also as a way to gain more, like, economic independence.
exactly. It's a strategic move.
Wow.
And that adds a whole other layer of significance to these recent developments in their crypto space.
It's starting to feel like a high-stakes geopolitical chess match.
A little bit.
And the implications are, like, huge.
They really are.
But before we go too deep into, like, global power plays,
Right.
let's bring it back to the individual miners in Russia.
Okay, yeah.
What does this new law actually mean for them on a practical level?
On one hand, it gives them a degree of legitimacy.
Okay.
They're no longer operating in a legal gray area.
Right.
They can register, pay taxes, operate within a, defined framework.
So it's a trade-off.
Yeah, pretty much.
More legitimacy, but also more scrutiny
Uh-huh.
and potential for government intervention.
Exactly, and that's the inherent tension that comes with trying to regulate a decentralized technology.
Right.
It's about trying to impose order on something that was, that was designed to resist centralized control.
It will be fascinating to watch Russia navigate this challenge.
I agree.
But before we wrap things up, there's one more point from the Crypto News article that I think deserves attention.
Okay.
They mentioned some interesting developments with a company called BitRiver.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
BitRiver, Russia's largest crypto mining company.
Yeah.
They're making some bold moves.
Yeah. Tell me more.
They've announced plans to work with a government agency, too. They're going to build crypto mining and AI facilities in BRICS nations.
So BitRiver, they're the ones like expanding beyond Russia's borders.
Yeah, that's right. They're teaming up with a Russian government agency to do all this.
Wow. So BRICS, we're talking about a significant group of emerging economies here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This goes like way beyond just Russia.
It really does. It really underscores Russia's goal of becoming, like a major player on the global crypto stage.
Right.
They're not just focused on regulating the industry within their own borders anymore. They're looking to export their expertise and shape the development of crypto infrastructure around the world.
And if we connect that back to what we were discussing earlier about Russia's desire for greater economic independence, it starts to paint a very clear picture.
Absolutely. Cryptocurrencies could be a key piece of Russia's strategy to challenge the dominance of the U.S. dollar in Western financial systems by, establishing mining facilities and cultivating expertise in BRICS nations. They're creating alternative financial networks that are less reliant on traditional institutions.
It's almost like they're laying the groundwork for a parallel financial system.
Yeah, it is.
Like crypto-powered alternative to the existing global order.
That's a bold idea, but it's not entirely outside the realm of possibility.
Right.
And it's certainly something that Western governments and financial institutions are watching with great interest.
So let's bring this home for our listeners,
Right.
Why should they care about what's happening with crypto in Russia?
I mean, this goes beyond just, Bitcoin prices or mining profits. We're talking about the future of finance, technology, even global power dynamics.
Right.
Russia's embrace of crypto could send ripples throughout the world.
It's a reminder that the crypto world is in constant motion.
Yeah, definitely.
What seems like a niche topic today could have massive implications for the global economy tomorrow.
Exactly. It's a dynamic and unpredictable space.
Right.
And that's what makes it so captivating.
So as we wrap up our deep dives today into Russian crypto regulations, I'm left with a big question. Could Russia, with its history of centralized control, actually emerge as an unlikely champion for decentralized technologies?
That's the question, isn't it?
Right.
Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, we're just at the beginning of a fascinating story.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been great having you here.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.